Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Oxford United preview show with very biased opinions. Before we get started, I've got to very quickly say, please smash the like button, hit subscribe, hit the notify bell, and please tell us your predictions below. Oxford lost to Hull 2-0 on Saturday. It was a pretty firm victory for Hull. It was tough for Oxford. But Oxford had a midweek match, Ian, and something tells me they did quite well in it.
They did indeed, Thomas. Nice segue. Yeah, Oxford played well in the game against Hull, but as we've said a few times, they were beaten by the better side, and you can see the review on that in the top corner. But we rolled on to Doncaster, a game I was quite confident of because I know Doncaster weren't in the best form, and Oxford played fantastically well. Got the job done in the first half and won by 3-0. It was a performance full of a lot of energy, full of a lot of attacking prowess, through with a lot of pressing and putting the opposition under pressure. It was a sort of performance you wanted to see from Oxford. It's the kind of thing that's really been lacking in recent weeks, and they got the goals to back it up. But I'd say we went into more detail on that one on our review as well, and you can click on that one in the top corner. But definitely, if not the best performance of the season, then certainly the best one we've had for a long, long time. And it immediately changes everyone's thoughts to feeling a little bit down in the dumps, to thinking we're just hanging in there, to we're right in the mix again. And we move into this game against Blackpool at the weekend full of confidence, and a side who are a bit like what we were. They're kind of become the draw kings, and maybe we've just kind of evolved away from that one. So I am expecting Oxford to play in a similar vein to how they played against Doncaster. I don't see why you would change it. Carl Robinson made a point of saying we need to play with the handbrake off and be a bit more attacking and take more risks. And the side certainly responded to that. So I don't see why you would need to change that. And as a result, it's going to be very simple in terms of me. If I bring up my magical tactics board, it's just going to be one big picture here. I'm going for an unchanged side from the one that beat Doncaster, not surprisingly. So just to run through it, you're going to have Stevens in goal, Ruffles, Atkinson, Moore. You're going to keep with Hansen at right back, mainly. But one, I thought he did a really good job, and it's not easy for him to do the whole I'm midfield one week, I'm right back the next week. But I thought he played well. And Anthony Ford obviously had to travel out of the COVID bubble to family bereavement stuff, had to come back in. It's not quite sure whether he's going to have passed enough tests to be fit. So it's going to be carry on with Hansen there. Goran, 9 yellow cards. 9 yellow cards for Goran. He's skating through on these 9 yellow cards. Maybe not the worst game to pick up the 10th, Alex. With games against Northampton and an out-of-form Lincoln on the horizon. Maybe not the worst game to pick up the suspension. But he's there in the holding role. I would play Brannagan and I would play Kelly. And those two were excellent. Those two set the tone, in my opinion, in midfield. And it was I gave Brannagan a bit of stick in the game against Hull, but he returned to form. His effort level and his energy was fantastic, as was Liam Kelly's. And they put Doncaster's defenders and midfielders under a lot of pressure, won a lot of balls back, and obviously Goran contributes with that as well. Two pacey wingers, stick with them. Shadipo and Barker, both of them were excellent. Both of them caused their fullbacks a lot of trouble. Both of them had good partnerships with Ruffles and Hansen, and so I would keep that. And I would keep back in the goals, of course, Matty Taylor up front on his own. No need to change that. You can make changes for the Northampton game coming on the Tuesday night. That's maybe a game where you could play Adjington. Winnell has returned now. He will be on the bench for this game, we think. So you could play, that's a game where maybe you can rest Taylor. You can rest some other players as well. But keep the same team, keep the same sort of tactics, and I think we'll be successful. I don't think Blackpool are going to be quite as naive at the back as Doncaster will. Blackpool are a very good side defensively, which Tom, I'm sure, will talk about in just a moment. And I don't think they're going to mess around with the ball at the back as much as Doncaster did. They're just going to get the ball forward and try and put Oxford under pressure. As I see it as two very similar sides, the sides that try and win the ball back high and play in the other team's half, rather than messing around with it at the back. But Oxford, I think, are better at dealing with the press than maybe Blackpool would be. So I see it being a tighter game. I think Oxford will win it by 2-1. But I'm encouraged by the energy and the effort that seems to have came back into Oxford over the last couple of games.
Ian, Oxford looked a lot better. And if I'm not mistaken, that victory over Doncaster was their first victory over a top 6 side this season.
Yes, absolutely right. There's obviously been a lot of criticism about the team, about their ability to beat the top side. So that's all put to bed for now. We can forget about that one, and we can concentrate on pushing on towards the playoffs.
Ian, so I'm going to talk about the Tangerines, and not a huge amount has changed since the last time we spoke about this. They sit on 50 points in 12th place. They are sandwiched between Accrington, who are falling apart below them, and Fleetwood Town just above them. They've got a pretty standard goal difference for there, 8. They score as many as they concede, essentially. Their last 5 games, they've drawn 2, won 1, drawn 2. But they are undefeated in 8 matches. I think they have 2 wins and something like, if I'm doing my math correctly, there's 6 draws around that. So they have become Oxford United in that respect. 14 wins on the season, though, 8 draws and 10 losses. So all their draws have come recently. They have stopped conceding stupid goals and losing games, and that is an important thing. Obviously, we talked about their manager, Neil Critchley. He left Liverpool. He claims he's building something special at Blackpool. We're yet to really see that come to fruition yet, but they're not a bad side by any stretch. They do play a 4-4-2, and any of you that watch this channel know I hate any team that plays 4-4-2, but it's working for them. They managed to get a draw against Burton. That's a big result against the form team in the league, so well done. As we're going to find out
just to interrupt
later,
as well, they actually got a draw against Fleetwood, and looking at Fleetwood's form, they're also in pretty similar form to Burton, so that's 2 decent draws back to back, really.
They were indeed. In fact, if we're going on form, they've also beat Charlton and Pompey on this run. So it has been good results for them. Of course, a couple of draws, not as good. But Yates is their top scorer. He's got 12 goals and 3 assists. And as Tangerine Matt is going to tell us later, he likes to score from 3 yards, which is everywhere a good striker likes to be. There isn't a huge amount of team news on them. Medine is out injured. CJ Hamilton's had some injuries, but he played in the last game, and he's a very influential player cutting in off the right. KaiKai is quite exciting off the left, although his early season good form has kind of tailed away. I think he had 3 goals last time we did the preview video in December, and he's still on 3 goals. They are a very evenly distributed side when it comes to goals. Outside of Yates, everyone just chips in with a couple. As I said, 8 games undefeated. The interesting player for all Oxford United fans is that Luke Garbutt is still there, scored the equaliser late on against Burton to rescue them a point. This is a really tough game for them. Oxford are coming into this on the back of what you said is their best performance of the year. They tend, more than the Doncaster team, which I know some of their fans like to talk about, but they tend to do the opposite of what the team they're playing is doing. They beat MK Dons 1-0 by literally never touching the ball. They had it something like 28% of the time. Equally, when they have a lot of the ball, they use it, but they're gonna take whatever's given to them. Unfortunately, Oxford don't give up very much, and they do press high, and they have just as good a defense, if not a better defense, than this Blackpool side. So I'm going to stick to my pre-match prediction of Oxford United 2, Blackpool 0.
Yeah, I like the way how we both clarify that we're both sticking to our score, like we're ever going to change it. Yeah, Luke Garbutt was a great fullback when he was at Oxford a couple of years ago, and he's arguably been their best player this season. He's such a good level. He's better than League One level. I'm amazed they keep shipping him out to there, really. And last time out, Yates didn't actually play. The last time out, he was on the bench, so it's a different challenge for Oxford to deal with. But I do like the way, like, just going back to the way Oxford press, and I like the way that, like, it's kind of like, go after that back line and go after those midfielders and don't worry too much if they get beyond you. Have faith in that back line and that goalkeeper that have done such a good job, and Goran as well, of crowding people out. And that was what was happened against Donny as well, as we did a good job of, like, even when they were running in towards our back line, of that back line standing firm and standing against them. And that is, I think you're going to see 2 very good defences on show that don't give up many goals. So I would even say maybe the fact that I've gone for 3 goals in the game may be a shade optimistic.
Rogue, but exciting nonetheless.
Thomas, I think that all this waffling and blowing hot air needs to come to an end, because what everybody has really come for fan prediction videos. Now, the fans sent them in their thousands. Literally, I've spent the last 2 days trawling through the videos, and then we decided no more. We can take no more. We decided to pick 1 Blackpool fan against 1 Oxford fan. That would seem to be the way to do it. A war of words, if you were. And I thought it was only right that we start with the visitors, to let them go first. So who else could it possibly be other than the man that's usually a neutral person on this channel? His Tangerine roots are glowing through this week. It is our Tangerine man. It is Matt.
So, lads, it is the big one. Oxford versus Blackpool, main event. What I'm going to predict. Now, you obviously played Doncaster. Lovely 3-0 win for you. Whereas we got a draw against Burton Albion. A good draw, but, our first half was terrible. To be honest with you, if I'm going to be honest with you, I have some weird feeling you might win. We never win at your place. But I'm going to predict a 0-0. Why am I saying this? Because we've drawn 4 out of our 5 last games. We are draw merchants. And I think it's a 6-pointer. Knowing us will bottle it. But I have a feeling it'll be 0-0. I mean, we just draw so many games at the moment. Hopefully we get the win. Hopefully, if we do win, I promise you this, it'll be Jerry Yates scoring from 3 yards out, because that's the only way we score. But who knows? I'm going with a 0-0 up the pool.
Matt, you're like part of the family. You're furniture now. You're part of this channel. And as such, you must learn the rules of Very Biased Opinions. Rule 1, never show weakness. Rule 2, never show weakness. Rule 3, never show weakness.
Oh my God, he's gone there.
But a 0-0 draw does sound like the sort of result that both of these teams could play out. Yeah. Fair.
Yeah, I mean, for Blackpool, it's very much become a matter of just hanging in there. As much as I talked about that Oxford a couple of weeks ago, you've just got to keep ticking on points. You're not far away. It's only 5-point gaps, and you've got games in hand over a lot of those sides as well. So it's you just got to kind of dig in while the goals aren't flying in, and hopefully it'll come back to you. But so Blackpool you've got none of their fans backing a Blackpool win. Surely, who do we turn to? Who is a voice in the crowd that is going to be a voice of positivity for Oxford United? Well, I can think of only one. A man who cast aside all prejudice and bias last week to predict a Hull City 2-0 victory. That is right. We are turning to the soothsayer himself. We are turning to Patreon backer, pessimistic brother Alan.
Hi guys, optimistic brother Alan here. After that brilliant win midweek, there's going to be only one prediction for the weekend. Oxford United 3, Blackpool 0. Shocker.
I think I'm having a stroke, because he just described himself as optimistic brother Alan and had an Oxford victory. I don't feel well. Am I dying?
Answers on a postcard, and you can put this in the comments, but who was the mystery woman that shouted out during the video as well? That could be anybody's wife or girlfriend, and nobody is safe around this man. And it is shocking to see him backing an Oxford United 3-0 victory. I'm going as far as to say hell has frozen over.
Yes, 100%. Hell has frozen over. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching this. Please like, comment, subscribe. If you're enjoying this, check out our Patreon. The League One setting is only $4.99. It really supports the channel and it keeps us going. We love you all. We hope to see you tomorrow at 2:45 when we live stream the Oxford game and I talk about nothing related to Oxford or League One. Anything I'm missing, Alan?
You are missing nothing. Just have a good evening. Check out our Grandstand Betters video that we do with them in collaboration as well. They're a superb tipster website. And the only time they get things wrong is when we sully their good name. But we've been doing all right lately.
6-0. 6-0.
Yes. Okay. Very good. And on that note, thanks very much. And we'll see you tomorrow.